Thank you for the introduction. So I'm actually joining from Rouen, which is still France. It's the capital of Normandy, and that's where one of our campuses is located. So today I'm here to discuss and to tell you more about the mastery management. What is it that you will find in this kind of program, and what is it that you will be able to achieve once you are graduated. First of all, I would like to start about to talk about the school, some institutional key figures. This is something we're proud of, so we like to let you know a little bit about what the school is. So first of all, we have the triple accreditation, the international triple accreditation. This is what in the higher education field is known as the triple crown: ECRIS, AACSB, and AMBA. Recently, we had the good news that AMBA has been renewed for our global executive MBA for 5 years. That's the maximal duration that this accreditation is given for. And for the first year, this mastery management is also accredited by AMBA, and for 5 years. So we're very proud and happy about this great news. As I said, we have 3 campuses. One of them is in Rouen, where I live. And the other 2 are in Reims, in the Champagne region, and in Paris. This is our Parisian campus. This program in particular is delivered in 2 of these 3 campuses, in Rouen and in Reims, that nowadays are the 2 biggest campuses we have. We count with about 160 professors, and full-time professors, I mean, and 1,200 lecturers. A network of 62,000 alumni, and we'll talk a little bit about them afterwards. Around 600 staff members and roughly 10,000 students in these 3 campuses, and of course in this program, but also in other programs we have. We are happy to count with 200 major corporate partners and roughly 350 very prestigious academic partners. Basically, we're tied to them through exchange agreements and double degree agreements. We'll get into detail a little bit later. Our campus hosts every year something like 100 nationalities, and 25% of our students are international. So which means that NEOMA Business School, it's a French business school with a very important link with the territory. It's present in France, in Normandy, Paris region, and in Champagne, but it's also quite international. So now let's talk a little bit of the rankings. We are top 10 in France according to the Financial Times. This is the ranking that was published in 2019. They usually published it by October every year. So we're hoping to get a better place this year. It's good already to be top 10. The Economist also ranked us in the number 19th, in the world in this case, in the Masters in Management. And then a French ranking, which is Challenges Best French Business Schools, ranked this school number 6 in France. And another great news we had is that also we are placed 7th by L'Étudiant. It's another French ranking. These last 2 are different because they are from 2020. Okay. So now maybe we can get into the mastery management part. We say embrace the future together. Well, our motto would be passionate, shape the future. The idea is that we will prepare you to cope and to manage and to innovate in a future that we don't know and that we hardly ever know. So the idea is that together we can go through into this challenge. So here we give you 5 reasons of why to join this program. First of all, it's a master in management, so you will get a cross-functional approach, which means that in the first year mainly you will know what's about what is happening in the different sectors of a company. It could be a multinational, it could be a small or medium company, it could be regional, it could be local. Innovation teaching methods. Well, we're talking about VR simulations, we are case studies, we're talking about seminars, and for next intake, due to the current situation, we are also introducing online courses or distance courses. International outlook and broad range of skills. Well, this is what I was a little bit talking about the school. Well, it's also applied to the master in management. We have people coming from all over the world as exchange or as degree seeking. On top of that, we have, of course, the French students, and these people might have this objective of introducing some international outlook into their profile, into their student or professional profile. Well, the program will give them that opportunity by going abroad on an exchange, or like this is mainly 1 semester, or having an internship options or experience also abroad. It could be in France. Of course, for those international coming in France, having their internship in France, it's already an international exposure, but anyway, you know what I mean. Other ways to get an international exposure would be the double diplomas, which means that in the second year you will be able to go to other partner universities that could be located in various countries, such as, I don't know, Argentina, the States, Canada, China, Japan, well, Brazil, different options, of course, in Europe as well. And also the good thing that this program has is that it has like customized curricula, which means that you will be able to choose at some point, not always, but at some point, some elective courses that will help you to actually learn whatever you want to learn, and to get more information in what is your passion. Yeah. But we will talk as well a little bit about what can happen in your program in the next 2 slides. And finally, the employability, the fact that you can do internships, even 1, 2, or up to 3 internships within 2 or 3 years, that the program can be extended. It's actually giving you the opportunity to learn how to work in a company, how to work in the industry, and actually try if what you thought it was your dream sector of activity, or your dream function inside a company, is that it's truly what you thought of, and maybe you can change, or maybe you can carry on with that idea. Sorry. So this is pretty much the course. The program is in 2 years. However, the first year can be also extended into 2 years. So it would be like a gap year between year 1 and year 2. It's up to you if you want to do that or not. If you just want to do one year, of course you are entitled, and you study, and then you can keep studying, or you can go on exchange, or have your internship. You have all those options. As I said in my previous slide, it's quite you can customize your studies actually. And on the second year, you get either in any option you get a double degree. Okay, I will explain a little bit later about this. Which means that in 1 year you could be studying one of our MSCs, Masters of Science programs, which will grant you two degrees from the school. One is the Master in Management, and the other one would be the Master of Science program. Also, you can go, as I said earlier, go on to a double degree with an international partner. And also we have double degrees with French partners. That would be to get a second skill set, which goes beyond management, of course. It could be related to sports or to technology in this case, okay? However, the year 1 of the master can also be done in 2 years, which means that in between year 1, as I said, and year 2, you get a gap year. And in that gap year, you can decide what you want to do. Actually, you can, again, you can study, you can go abroad for 1 year, for 1 semester, or you can also have an internship. Sometimes students, they go abroad for 1 semester and then they have an internship. Sometimes they just go abroad for an exchange and then have an internship. Well, it's up to them and what the school can provide as well, right? And then you go on the second year. This is pretty much the structure of the program as a whole. This would be like the if you want the normal track. That we have 3 other tracks that I would like to share with you. But first, let's go and talk about the Masters of Science. As I said, on the year 2, you can get you can choose, sorry, among a list of 16, 17 Masters of Science. We have decided to divide, as there are so many, we have decided to divide them into 3 categories, which would be finance and accounting, marketing, and business and management. Over there, you can find that in finance and accounting, we have, well, we have like we try to cover all the financial sectors and functions, and like risk management or financial analysis or financial markets for those who want to do some trading. Wealth management as well is there. Accounting, well, you see that accounting and auditing is already an option. For marketing, you get from luxury marketing to broad marketing program, going through digital and wine and gastronomy, like very specialized, very niche, and one about marketing and the way the marketing is done by the French companies. Yeah. And finally, with the business and management, well, we have the global management program, that also grants, within the program, you have a double degree option with 2 other European partners. And then you have the specialized kind of management would be creative industries or supply chain or luxury management. Again, a very popular one. Business development or human resources. Yeah. And of course, entrepreneurship and innovation. Now, this is basically the list of the programs. Some of the programs, they come with certifications, like highly renowned certifications, such as, for example, I was discussing the financial analysis program that comes with the CFA certification that is granted by the CFA Institute. We prepare you to go through level 1 and level 2 of the CFA. We prepare you, and then you take the exam. Our scores are pretty good. We are way higher than the worldwide average, and we are very proud of that as well. And which talks about how good our partnership is with the CFA and how good our faculty members are. That they are all the ones that are lecturing in this program are familiar with the CFA, and also they have certifications in level 1, level 2, and some of them even level 3. And then we have also the FRM certification, which is the one that comes with the financial markets and technologies, which is FRM is a financial risk management or manager certification that it's granted by GARP, Global Association for Risk Professionals. In this case, you will be, and again, it's like a major finance certification. And in this case, you'll be prepared for 2 levels, level 1 and level 2. It has only 2 levels, this certification, so it's fine. Then accounting, auditing, advisory, it's also linked to CMA, the CMA Institute, which is a certification about management and accounting. And then for wine and gastronomy, also we have accreditations like a WSET, which is about wine and spirits testing certification, and also I think we prepare you for level 1. And I don't want to forget the international project development that prepares you for the Prince 2 certification, which is a project management certification, a British one, also very known in worldwide. So if we go to the second part of the mastery management that I wanted to share with you today was the specific tracks. As I said, what we could call normal track would be You do the year one, and then you do an MSc. But also we have 3 different tracks that are offered for you guys, which allow you to do the CFA from year one. So this will allow you to prepare and to certify level 1 in the first year, and then prepare and certify level 2 on the second year. So this is all about CFA. Of course, you will get other electives, and the track is a little bit different from what I said, but it's all basically about the CFA or finance. That's what I mean. Then the entrepreneurship track, which would be those people who would like to start their own company from the very beginning or from year one. Well, they have these courses that are adapted in the timeline. The timeline of the courses, the scheduling of the courses are adapted, so you can carry on with or start or carry on with your project, with the project you would like to create and to launch. For that, we have 3 incubators in our 3 campuses that will provide the services that our students need. Of course, to be part of the incubator, you need to apply. And if your project is good and you convince the jury, you can be part of the incubator and benefit from the services we can provide. And the 3rd track would be the risk and financial technologies track, which is related to FRM. Again, you will be studying about what financial risk management is, about finance, and you will be focusing on level 1 and level 2 in both years. Of course, always related to what GARP, to GARP and to the GARP curricula. Okay, great. Then the careers. What happens when our students they graduate? First of all, before that, we have this talent and career department. So these guys, they help you with your personal branding, with your research for an internship in the beginning. You will be looking for an internship during the program, and then you will be focusing on what happens with your professional career. Well, with guys that will help you with that. As you see, you see there are 1,500 personal interviews. That means that you can book online an interview, a one-on-one interview with one of our career counselors, so they can help you shape your search for your internship, shape your future professional projects. Per year, we have around 6,400 internship agreements. That's quite a large number to handle. And we also provide and organize forums, company forums. That means that we invite corporate partners. Around 200 of them, they attend to our events. They could be like seminars, they could be roundtables, they could be company forums, like recruitment sessions as well in our campuses, in our 3 different campuses. So it's a quite good service that we provide. And that comes with the academic part, that comes with the international part. It's like part of your life as a student. Is also prepare yourself to your professional life, and we'll help you that since day one, basically. Okay. Sorry. So what happens afterwards? Yeah, this is afterwards. So our students, they find employment 4 weeks, like 87%, like almost 90% of graduates. It's 4 weeks before graduation. 34 of them, they go abroad to work, with an average salary of 44 at the entry level, and then an evolution in the first 3 years of 56, 60. This is average always. It would depend on the kind of field you're working, finance, and even more if you do CFA finance. Well, that will give you probably a larger average salary. Sectors of activity of the first of the professional experience that our graduates they found just right after finishing their studies would be working in financial institutions such as banking, insurance, auditing, consulting, in the luxury industry, or in the retail. As you see, master in management is quite broad. It's up to you to specialize, to find that key that will specialize yourself on the second year. And that's what it's so cool about this program, is that You have like a general overview during the first year. You can even have the opportunity to go abroad or to start working. And then on the second year, well, once you hopefully discover what you want to specialize in, well, you go there on the second year and you get your second degree. Here are some examples of where our graduates work. We have big names from abroad or from France. Some of them are quite regional. I don't know, PricewaterhouseCoopers, BNP, Procter & Gamble, Sanofi, Carrefour, Air France. Well, you get the idea over there. Well, you get the idea. GE. So that's pretty much about the companies. Our alumni network, it's around 60,000, 62,000 graduates. 22 of them, they live abroad. That means outside France in 120 countries. And these guys, they are somehow reunited by tribes. That's how we call them. There are groups that in different countries. There is one person that is that coordinates with all of them between the school and the alumni foundation and the different alumni people that we have in different countries or different regions, and they organize events. So let's say it's to keep alive the alumni network. Sorry, that gives you an idea of how active the network is and how probably is that you might find your next job thanks to one of these guys, right? Admission requirements. Before I go there, and it's related to what the master in management can give you, and this is quite particular of France. The master in management delivers a Grande Master, which means that it's a master degree and it's a recognized diploma, recognized by the French government, which means that once you finish your graduation, you are able to stay in France. It's during 1 year or 2 years, depending on your nationality. And the idea is that if your project is to find this first professional experience will be to have it in France, well, this program will open the doors to that, as it has the highest recognition you can get in this country, in France. Okay. So now let's get into the admissions requirements. Of course, it's a master's degree, so you need a bachelor's degree. It has to be from some non-French institution, so like a foreigner institution. Then you need to prove your English level, English skills. That is through an IELTS, TOEFL, TOEIC. If you have studied in English, well, you have to prove that you have studied English thanks to a letter from your university. GMAT is not mandatory, it's recommended, but it's not mandatory. So the admission process is simple. You just go online. You'll see the application website later. And you go to our apply website, you create your application, you go through the application form. You submit the documents that are required, which I just said. The bachelor's degree would be a diploma and the transcripts, plus the English skill proof, plus answering some essay type questions, and your CV, some recommendation letters, and then once you submit your application, well, you have to go into the interview, which would be via Skype with 1 or 2 professors from the program. Yeah. So the guys or the people that will be evaluating you are mostly or probably those who you will have in the classroom, which is interesting, right? And then following the recommendation, the admission committee will decide whether you are admitted or not, and you get a decision roughly 5 days after your interview. Okay, so it's quite simple. It's quite fast. It's a weekly basis admission session, so it's 1 per week, and that's how it is. So here is that I would like to give you some tips about what to do or how to face an application to this kind of program. First of all, study the program, know about it, not just for the interview, which is one of the tips as well, but to know if it's for you, basically. The idea is that you know what you want. That this is the thing. For those who will come to France, this is a study abroad project, which means that you will be investing money and time during a part of your life, sorry, that it's quite precious and quite important. So before you launch into an application to any program, particularly in our master in management, I would recommend you to see if it's the right program for you. To study, to see the website, to see the brochure, to talk to my team, the admissions team, to see if what the program offers is what you need and what you are looking for. Sorry about that. Then one thing that will be a good idea to have in mind is to manage properly the timing of your application process. Sorry, that would mean that if you want to apply for the program, if you are sure about it, create your application, and please try not to take like 1 month, 2 months to submit your application. That means that if I have to analyze that in a candidate, that means that it's somebody that is not prepared. If it's somebody that is not prepared, means that maybe he's not very serious about coming to study with us. You see, so the first impression it counts a lot. It's not just the admissions interview. It's also how you go through the application process, how long you take to do it. So prepare for the application would be try to have your documents, try to get informed, and do not take too long to submit your application. Otherwise, it would be that you will be given the idea that you don't really know whether this program is good for you or not. Then the thing is that you need to focus on your motivation. Then when you are explaining why you want to study this program and why this is cool, well, your motivation is key here. We'll give you the chance to tell us a little bit more about that during the essay type questions. So take advantage of that part of your application form to explain thoroughly, but also in a quite succinct way. Be concrete and be clear. Yeah, and of course, try to understand the program for the interview. The interview will be about what you know about the program, what you think, how you think the program will help you with your professional career, how you think the program will help you with your current situation in terms of knowledge and academic status, those kind of things. Yeah. So that's pretty much about the tips. Hope they helped you. Again, application process is what I said, but just a reminder, it could be like the next intake would be taking place in next September. The campuses you can choose are Rouen and Reims. Some people tell me, how can I choose the campus? Well, a good thing would be to choose a campus according to what you want to do on the second year, which means that, why? Because not all the MSCs, the Master of Science that you will be doing in the second year are offered in both campuses. So this is what I mean about knowing the program and understanding the structure of the program. It means that maybe from the beginning, from the creation of the application, you can start already thinking about what you're going to do on the second year, on the MSc year. Yeah. Duration 2 years, it could be 3 if you take the gap year. Tuition fees for the 2 years, and even if you get the gap year tuitions, they don't, I think it's only 300 euros more that you pay, and that's it. So it's 27,000 euros for 2 years. Application fees 100 euros. But if you use this code that is there, PrepAdv 2020, basically while you submit your application, you have to use it, and if you use it, you will be able to have a application fee waiver. Do not take too long to submit your application and use this code, because it doesn't last. It's going to be 2 weeks. The expiration date would be 2 weeks from today's date. That means, I guess, around May 21st. And as I said, the application is online, and there you have the link to the website, apply website. And if you see on the picture, that's one of the buildings of our Rouen campus, the campus of Rouen. We call it the Chateau, which means in English castle. It's not really a chateau, but as it's quite old and from the 18th or 19th century, we call it that way. Beautiful. And you see that we are surrounded by a green scenery, which is also a beautiful place. So I think this is my last slide. Basically, the idea here is to show you who would be your contact people, your people to go to. It depends on the country you are living, where you are applying from. For all of them, you have one email, but if you prefer to WhatsApp, you have the India office WhatsApp number, the Latin America office WhatsApp number, the China. I didn't put the WeChat, but if you ask me, you can request the ID and I can share it with you. And these are phone numbers for Rouen campus and Reims campus. The rest of the team, those who are based in France, well, they are separated in Rouen and Reims. And if you don't want to call them, you can just write an email and they will gladly answer your questions. But now I guess it's my time to answer your questions. So go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Fernando, for this great presentation. It was a pleasure to hear all of the things that that this great business school can offer. I would now like to announce that it's time for the questions and for the Q&A session that will answer most of your personal questions. I am reminding that 1 hour after the webinar, you will be able to have a session with a personal session with Fernando if you book one. I have sent a link in the chat to everyone where you can log in. When you click on it, you go to the Advent Connect platform, and there it will want to log you in through your email address that you provided while registering and the telephone number you can use as a password for this account. Usually, if you are logged in currently in the webinar, it could even not ask you for a password and an email, but in case it does, it's the email that you registered with and your telephone number starting 0, 8, 9, 10, so on. So now what I would like to do is to ask you a question to start off the Q&A session. And I would like to ask you what is more important for you when choosing a master's degree. I am launching a poll right now that will appear on your screens, and I would appreciate if you can answer give me your answers. This is a part of polls and surveys that we do throughout our webinars, and we are collecting data that we will later on share with you in the follow-up emails after the webinar, so that you can see where you stand with in comparison to all of the other candidates. So please give us your answer on what is most important for you when choosing a master's degree. I will leave the poll for half a minute more because I see that we still have some replies coming in. And I will present, of course, the results when they come. So please vote now so that we can see some results and what is most important for our audience today when choosing a master's degree in these interesting times. I'm still receiving some answers. You should be able to vote. It should be available on your screen directly. Okay. I think that's it for the moment. I will end the poll and will present the results. Sharing the results right now. As it appears, location is not very important, is not important at all for our audience today. But rankings and faculty and curriculum, of course, which is quite normal, is one of the major factors in choosing a degree. Faculty and curriculum are indeed important, and rankings do tell a lot about a business school, but in any case, the match between the candidate and the program and the school that he's applying to is also important. Costs are, of course, at 13%, which is a pretty important factor in choosing a business school. And I am stopping the results, stopping the share of the results to go on with the Q&A session. So I would like to ask you to give me your questions, and I will read them out for Fernando so that he can answer. I already have a lot of questions lined up, but I will be expecting your questions through the Q&A tab. When you click on Q&A in your main navigation, you can ask the questions that interest you. So I will start with the first question. Regarding the current situation. I have been admitted to NEOMA Business School for Master in Management. Regarding the current situation, there will be a recession all over the world. Will it affect the way we get internships? This is a question by Arijit, who is obviously currently admitted to the MIM program. Fernando?
Yeah. Thanks for the question. Frankly speaking, I don't know what's going to happen in 1 year's time, right? Currently, we have there's some kind of lockdown everywhere. There is some quite a recession in different countries. However, at least what is happening in France, okay? Many higher education institutions and even the government are somehow requesting companies to do not go to lockdown and to not reduce their hiring plans for the next or the following 6 months, mainly about interns. Yeah. So the idea is that people won't get or won't be without any internships options. Knowing that you can also go to an internship in other countries. I believe that if we know that it could be in the first year, it could be your first semester is courses, and then your second semester is the professional experience, or it could be an exchange, and then on the second year you can do your professional experience, which means that at least you have 1.5 years to let pass this recession moment. And to wait for the world to recover. So again, of course, I won't have the answer. I can give you some hints of what is happening here in France, and sorry about that, and what is happening here in France, and what can happen in the future in 1.5 years time, right?
Very interesting times indeed, and I see that in France everything is happening the way it's happening all over the world. With us as well, everyone is working from home with all of its artifacts. So I don't think anyone would be bothered by a few kids singing. So it's even a pleasure to hear. So now I am going to the next question. I heard that all MSCs are postponed by a month. Is it the same for the MIM program? And what is the cohort of the MIM students?
Yeah, well, let's say no. For the moment, we haven't decided to postpone the intake for the MIM. It's only going to be, it's going to be in September as planned. What we are offering is online courses for those who won't be able to come by September. Would this change in the future few months? I don't know. The cohort of the program is those who are, they go into the what we call M1 year, which would be the first year of the master program. It's around maybe 700 people, mainly from France, and around 150 we're waiting, or we're expecting 150 coming from abroad. Okay, which means that probably the French students or those living in France already that are going through what is called concours, they will start in September, and those who are able to come to France by September, we will gladly welcome them in September. Those who cannot come by September, they will be able to follow the courses online, distance courses. Online means doesn't mean live necessarily because of the time differences, of course, the different places in the world that our students are coming from. And so this is pretty much the situation right now. Now for the MSCs, we could postpone the intake. It was, let's say, easier to do it. So we just made the decision from the very first moment. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Another interesting question that we have is, could you please let us know what, is there any chance to change campuses if I change my mind regarding the second year module?
Yeah, I think that after the first year, I think you can change. You are gonna have to choose your program, and it's actually during the first year. That would be if you're starting in September, that would be by January. You will have like 2 months to choose what you want to do on year 2. And you can choose one program that would be in one campus. It could be different to yours. Okay. The thing is that what I thought is that what I was saying before is that it's better, in my opinion, it's better if you think from the very beginning what's your program for the second year, so you can stay in one city both years, just to avoid the hassle of going from one city to the other, basically.
Okay, great. There is a question about the MSCs can start 2 times per year. Will the MIM be available for 2 intakes per semester?
MSCs, they don't start twice a year. It's only one. Usually September. This time it's going to be in October. And MIM, it's in September.
Okay, great. There is a question here about the last deadline of application.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about the
Sure.
intakes, when they take place.
Yeah. So if the intake for MIM would be September, that means that we're going to keep running admissions until end of June, beginning of July. And we will give the last admission offer by mid-July. Okay? Basically, the idea is to help you with the visa, to do the visa once you have your admission offer and your admission letter. Okay?
Okay, great. There is a question here also, does the double diploma have an additional fee to it?
No.
Okay, perfect. I got admitted to MIM for September. Is there a chance for me to defer the intake? So
yes,
to probably start later?
Yeah, you will defer to next year. There is no deferring to January or to March. It's not a la carte. If you want to defer your admission, it would be for September 2021. And that's possible under any circumstances. It could be linked to the COVID situation, or to any other personal issues that people might have. Yeah. But again, it's not deferred to January. It will be deferred to next year. Okay. This is why we offer the online courses to, even if in September you cannot come because, I don't know, your country does not let you get out because of the COVID situation, I mean, or because you're running late with your visa, Well, we will help you with some distance learning courses, which will help you catch up with the courses you are missing, and that will help you integrate the program at the moment you have to. Okay.
Great. Another question here for the international exchange double degree with a partner university. Sounds interesting. Can you share some insights on this by Aditya?
Well, as I said, for the MSCs, it's the same for these double degree options. The only thing is that they are quite limited places, okay? So there will be a lot of competition, and decision will be made according to your academic performance during the program. So the international double degrees are an option that you will have to choose during. If I said you start in September your first year, in January you will have to choose what to do in your second year. Okay, there will be an MSc, there will be a double degree in France, I mean with another institution in France, or it could be also a double degree abroad. Yeah, so that's pretty much how it is. Then if you do like you choose 3 options, and then if the first one you don't get the first one because other one got it, well, you go into the second one and then on the third one. Perfect. That's pretty much how it works.
Now let's go to a couple of questions regarding finance. There was a question here regarding the installments in which the fee can be paid.
Okay.
Can you give us this structure of installments?
Yeah.
What are the fees? When are they supposed to be paid?
Yeah. So the idea is that when you are admitted, you have to book your place. That's when you pay your down payments. You do your down payment. That's a part of the fees, just to book your place. The rest of the fees for the first year, so I said 27,000 euros, you split in 2, that's what you pay 1 year, and then on the second year. So that means 13,500 euros. So you pay the down payment, you send the down payment, sorry. And then by end of September, you need to pay all the fees, or the whole amount of the remaining fees for the first year. On the second year, you can pay it in up to 2 installments. That will be in September and in January of the second year. Okay? I don't know if it's clear.
Okay. So in any case, most of the people, all of the people that were here will receive the recording. So even if something is not clear, they will be able to revisit. Regarding the payments, there's also a question here by Rishabh, who is asking us, does an international student need to pay an extra cost for studying at international semester abroad?
No. No, exchange. It's an exchange program, which means that we send our students to the partner university, and the partner university send us their students. Okay, so it's like a balance sheet partnership.
Okay. One question here regarding scholarships. How do we ensure that NEOMA Business School will put out our name in receiving IFL scholarship? What are the strong points?
Okay. Well, first of all, for this year, for September 2020, it's too late. I mean, we have received the results, and we're happy to have 3 people that have gotten the IFL scholarship. We're very happy about that. From different parts of the world, that's even better. If you want to be nominated to the IFL scholarship by our school, that would be for September 2020 intake. Sorry, September 2021 intake. There we go. So that means that you will have to have an application created next year. So from September on. First of all, the first condition would be have an admission early in the year. Okay, why? Because in order to be able to choose our nominees, we need to have an admission by December, as we have to nominate these people the first week of January every year. Okay, so for example, if you're planning to come in September 2021, you should be admitted by December this year, 2020. So in the school, we'll be able to analyze all the applicants that are there on the race, let's say, so we can choose them, and then in January, first week of January 2021, we can nominate before the French government. Then third week of March, we get the results. What are the other things that you need? Well, you have to have very strong GPA, a very strong English level, a very strong professional project that is linked to the program, of course. So I said early admission to the Master in Management or any other master program, but Master in Management because now we are in the Master in Management webinar. Strong average during your bachelor's degrees, strong English level, strong motivation, and strong professional project linked to what the program can give you, yeah? And a very, very good performance during the interview. That's pretty much.
Okay,
we pick the best, and then we nominate them.
As it is normal for all of the scholarships in any case. There are a couple of questions regarding the campuses. I have been admitted for MIM in Rouen campus for September. May I know when can I apply for housing, and what options does the school offer?
I believe the housing campaign will be launched next week for all the people that are enrolled, not just admitted. They have to be registered already as a student. Yeah. Admission does not open the door to that kind of service. You need to be already enrolled. So go through our registration website and then having paid the down payment. Yeah. So that would be next week, hopefully.
Okay, that's a good occasion to speak a little bit more about accommodations as well. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what kind of accommodations are offered.
We don't have dorms dorms that belong to the school. We have dorms that belong to other companies or to the cruise, which is a government agency that provides that kind of service. We have some kind of partnerships with them, and it's through us that you get a room in these kind of options. Also, we have a platform that will link you to owners, to the apartment owners, or people who are renting like a one bedroom in their household. It depends. There are many options for Rouen and Reims and Paris, for those who are applying to an MSc in Paris. And the options are there, and you will get all the information next week, hopefully.
Perfect. Since we're on the subject, maybe you can give us a little bit more details on the costs for living and the different campuses. Probably they differ.
That's a good that's good information. Something first linked to the housing is that the French government gives some kind of a housing allowance, which means that it's called the CAF, C-A-F. It's a personal procedure that you need to go through with the French administration once you are here in France, and that if they accept, they usually do, they will refund you up to 1/3 of what you paid in housing. So that's a good idea. That's a good news. Then a budget, I would say a living expenses budget would be 750 euros per month. That includes housing and includes also the food you might have to buy, of course, and public transportation within the city, and occasionally beer every now and then. That does not include holidays, of course.
Yes. So there are some more questions, and I would like to go to announce that we will have 2 or 3 more questions, and we will end the webinar. So please do ask your questions in case you have any questions. Let's see. How can we opt in for the double degree program? Is a question by Sambit.
I think I explained already. It's during the first year you will have to opt. You have to choose you have 3 options. You have to declare them and to say, this is my option number 1, my option number 2, and my option number 3. And then according to the other people's choices, the program administration will decide who goes where and who gets what.
And probably you could tell us a little bit more about visa arrangements and how many years after people graduate from the Master in Management program they have in order to find a job.
Sure. Well, the school has this service that provides help to the students to integrate into France. That goes from sending tomorrow, next week, the housing campaign, to help you with the visa documents, visa procedures from France. Of course, it's a personal procedure that you will have to go through first Campus France and then the consulate. But we can give you a hand on tips on how to handle that. Then once you come to France, they will help you with another personal procedure here that is called the OFI, which is basically validating the visa that they give you in the consulate here in French territory. Then what happens afterwards? After you graduate from this program, the Master in Management, you will get the option, a stay back option of 1 up to 2 years after your graduation, as I said, depending on the nationality. Yeah, and it depends on basically the agreements that both countries have, France and your home country. For example, for Indian students, it's 2 years. That's because France and India, they just signed an agreement a couple of years ago where Indian graduates from a master program can opt for a stay back option of up to 2 years. That's basically to help you find a job. I would personally recommend not to take 2 years to find a job, as otherwise it would be quite pricey. As I said, our graduates, they find a job, almost 90% of them, they find a job 4 weeks before the graduation. So that's the best scenario, let's say. Basically, once you have your diploma, you just go to what it's called here prefecture, which is the migrations office, and you show your visa and your diploma, and they will grant you the APS, which is the stay back, but in French.
Okay, that's perfect. The final 2 questions are more regarding living and rents, and one of them is actually more into admissions. Can you tell us what extracurricular activities would make the university look at that profile, at my profile, better, in a better light? And apart from GPA, what exactly does the university look at? So maybe you can elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, sure. Well, when analyzing an application, we have like a holistic approach. So we check the GPA, we check as well the English level. If you're applying for the French track, we check the French level. If you're going for the English track, you don't need French, by the way. Then what we look at is your performance during the admission interview. That's very important, as I just said. About extracurricular activities, it's important to know that our candidates are engaged into different causes or into different social manifestations or social events, or that are showing proof of being leaders somehow, or they have maybe created associations, or they have created personal projects to help their community, to help improve their environment, something like that. Yeah, we'll look on that. Then if you have, for example, if you have had some exposure to other cultures, that's interesting for us too. If you somehow have already an international outlook, that's interesting to know what you have done abroad. I mean, outside your own home country, to do what kind of experiences you could have during those moments. These are questions that we are asking you during the application or while you are filling the application form. And this is what I was saying. This is the time you can take advantage describing yourself and describing your profile as a candidate.
Okay, that's great. So the final question is from an anonymous attendee who is asking us what it is like to live in one of the campuses and study in one of the campuses that you have, and how does the school help integration of the students with French and additional French lessons? Do they have to pay for it or not?
Okay.
How are those things organized there?
Yeah, so life in campus is quite active. You have lots of events going on. Coming from international students or for French students, we have 88 associations, students associations, which means that as a student of NEOMA, you can be part of one of these associations that are, their objective is to be committed into one particular sector of activity or social engagement or passion, yeah, that they have. It could be arts, it could be sports, it could be finance, it could be it could be like beehives, because we have beehives producing honey. It could be like a large photography. It could be a large variety of options that you can go to register, and so you can be part of the life of the campus. The school, as I said, they have a service that will help you integrate into the French life, but also we have students associations. There is one in Reims and in Rouen that is more for international students to help them integrate. Sometimes it's difficult coming from another country, not knowing the cultural rules or habits. Well, it's good to have local students or maybe international students that are already here in France that are part of these associations to help you integrate through events, through parties, through trips. Yeah, of course, outside courses hours. But I think that's the kind of life you are getting there. Of course, you'll be far from home, so sometimes you could get lonely. Be prepared for that. What we call the cultural shock that could come a month and a half when you are already in France, but that goes away because the idea is that we and the students and the school will somehow help you cope with that and carry on with your studies and this exceptional experience that is studying abroad and studying in NEOMA Business School, of course.